So now that you've got these nice holes on your pieces, we need to figure out how to get these attached to the thicker pieces that are going to be our sides of the frame. So what I want to do is teach you how to utilize the clamp. So we want to get those two things right there, flush here, and then we clamp it. So, of course, once you get it clamped as originally, you can get a little, fudge it around a little bit, but, okay, got it in the right spot, flush here, and the clamp is actually going to naturally flush it out top to bottom. So it's most important that you get that right, okay? So now that that's clamped as it needs to be, we need to get our 7/64 drill bit. Now I'm going to put that 7/64 in there, and we are going to make sure that's flush, and we're going to pre-drill for our screw to be able to go in and not tear out the end grain. And remember, you want to try and stay as centered as possible. Now, I've begun the holes for both of these. That's kind of nice. Unlike our last project, you can do two at once. And you can then switch over and drive two screws. Okay, I got my two screws. I've already pre-drilled a little bit. That screw's going to go right into that pre-drill hole. And we are going to tighten that down. Okay? Don't over twist this. Once it gets tight, stop twisting, because the end grain can't handle a lot of twisting. It will start to tear out instead of add strength. Okay, so just gentle, especially since we are going to put this back together. Alright, so there you go. This sits flush here because we had the clamp on it. This is tight because we had pre-drilled, sorry. This is tight because we pre-drilled through here, and now the screws are grabbing. So what we're going to do is do that to now all the sides and put it the rest of the way together. Once we get it together, then we're going to release it like we did last time, maybe one side at a time, glue, and then screw it back down. So please do not over tighten these, otherwise it will strip out the end grain. End grain is not as strong as edge grain or face grain, and so it really needs to be kind of gentle on that. But once the glue's on there and the screws are in, it should be plenty strong. Alright, so you saw me put in the first two. Let's put all of them together. You're going to watch me build these in fast motion. Here comes our time lapse. Okay, students, so I got my small one all put together, and these turned out nice and flush all the way around. And I've got 3 out of my 4 sides done here, so very good, flush. But oh no, when I went to go do my last one, this might happen to you as well, and it will move over to the point where it'll be flush, but how are we going to get it to stay there while we pre-drill? Well, my recommendation on this particular thing, one of 2 things you can do. What we can do is use our clamp in a different way. We can move that until it's flush, right? Hold it there. And you may need to do it like this, and then use your clamp. Instead of actually clamping the 2 pieces together, you're kind of clamping to hold that position. now since you've used your clamp to do that, now that feels really nice and flush. Now I might need to move it a little bit more. Okay. Oh yeah, now we're perfect. So the problem is it's not going to hold it equal this way. So you got to make sure you adjust for that. Okay, now I'm going to put my pre-drill back in. So remember, you're looking for it to be flush in this direction, flush in this direction. Okay, now I've got it in there, and making sure it stays flush. So I'm kind of holding out with my fingers right there. And now it's holding it right where it needs to be in place. Okay, there you go. Now you have your 2-step frames. That is awesome! Alright students, so now that you have your pieces screwed together, that's great. Now we need to make sure that they stay long term. So we are going to remove the screws one side at a time, put glue on them, and then put the screws back in so these are permanent. Here we go! One thing I want you to pay attention to is how I put these screws in. So they are in, they're tight, and then I also did what I call soldering the screws. At least I got that term from the guy I learned how to do carpentry from, where the X is the same each time. So if I do my X like an X, great. If it's like a cross, they all are the same on each side. So you can kind of see the heads there. They're going to be the same. I like to do the cross style where they look right. So that is just one detail that makes it look a lot more clean. So I've done that first one. I'm going to go ahead and glue the next one now. So after you glued, make sure you take a rag or something to get the glue out of these corners, right? Clean it up as best you can. The nice thing is all the places that will be visible, like here and here, will be sandable. So not the end of the world if there's some glue on there, but we'll sand that later. Good job.